for you to be able to put your thought process to use without becoming a slave to the thought process, for you to be able to experience your emotion, yet without becoming blinded by emotion. In other words, whatever experience this mind and body is capable of, you're capable of experiencing all this, yet at the same time, nothing rules over you. You do not become a slave in the process. What would be the quality of such a mind? So you may have a tremendously sharp intellect. You know, there are some people who have a brilliant intellect, yet they use their own intelligence against them. Why? Because clarity is lacking. And in fact, with your intellect and your rational mind, if you're clever enough, you can create an argument to support almost any conclusion. Have you ever heard of something called the word sophist? Anybody heard sophist? So in ancient Greek, the system of law that used to exist there was that it wasn't like today. Today you can hire somebody to defend you in the court. But in the ancient Greece, there was no such thing as a defendant. You had to defend yourself in the court. So what used to happen is that people would hire people who are called sophists. Now, who are these sophists? Sophists have learned a certain art of logic. You present them almost any hypothesis, any conclusion. They will be able to bend their argument to make almost any statement appear as true. Because you know, in the court system, it's not about what is the truth. Truth is irrelevant when it comes to the court system. What is far more relevant is who has the more convincing argument. You have 10 eyewitnesses, they're all giving you different reports about a single event. What is the truth is very unclear. What matters is how can you present an argument to present that gives you the most convincing case. And even with evidence, even when you're presenting evidence in the court, you can interpret the evidence in more than one way, right? So, there are these people called the sophists. You would hire them, and they will teach you a certain art of logic, where you'll be able to use your logic in brilliant ways, yet within yourself there's absolutely no clarity. Because clarity is a totally different quality. It's not about how sharp is your intellect. It's not even about what is your emotional intelligence. This is why in yoga we called it a third eye. Third eye means a different dimension of perception, coming from a more intuitive mind, has opened up within you. I'll tell you something. There were 3 blind men. These 3 blind men came to see a sage. They asked him, what is the truth? So the sage, he took these 3 blind men to an elephant, and he told them, okay, each one of you touch one part of the elephant and tell me what you experience. So one man, he touched the leg, he said, oh, it feels like a pillar. Another one touched the belly, he said, oh, it feels like a wall. Another one touched the tail, he said, oh, it feels like a rope. Suddenly, these 3 blind men started arguing and fighting with each other over what is the nature of this elephant. So the sage, he laughed, he was tremendously delighted. He said, okay, here's the point. Each one of you is right in the sense that you've all picked up on limited aspects of the truth. Yet each one of you is also wrong because you're too attached to your limited conclusions.